Hello guys, welcome back to the Free Hammers. This was a good question. I really like this one. The guy asked, if you could make a West Ham 11, but you're only allowed to use players that have won Hammer of the Year, what would your first 11 be? So this one I had to obviously do a little bit of research. I've done a sub bench as well because it was hard to leave a few of these out, so I thought I'd give them a place on the bench. We'll start in goal. There's a few goalkeepers that have won it actually. Shaka, Green, Ludo. For me, Ludo McCloskey goes in goal. He's got a song, still sung to this day. He's played a massive role in the club as a coach and a player. He's an absolute legend, a giant of a man and a fantastic player. Ludo McCloskey is my man in goal. Right back, there wasn't many right backs on the list actually. I thought Lucas Neal might have won it, but it didn't. The stick out one at right back for me was Sebastian Schemmel. And he wouldn't go in my Hammers 11, for example. But if we're going on Hammers of the Year and how rightly did he deserve that Hammer of the Year that year, Sebastian Schemmel definitely goes in at right back for me. Didn't really do nothing after that season, but I tell you what, that one season, that first season, he was incredible. Just attacking, strong defensive as well. He has to be my right back. Defence is pretty obvious. Don't get me wrong, there's some legends in there, Martin, Gale, and things like that, but there's only two names that you can put next to each other, in my opinion, in defence, and that's Rio Ferdinand and Bobby Moore. Rio, one of the best youth products to ever come through our academy, won everything at Manchester United, was the youngest teenage defender when he went to Leeds. He had all the class and quality. It's such a shame he couldn't stay with us for longer, but as a Hammer of the Year and one of the best defenders the Premier League in this country has ever developed, he has to go in there. Obviously, like I say, next to him, Bobby Moore. We can't say much else, can we? I never got to see the man play, but the fact that the man has a statue outside Wembley Stadium, the fact that he's the only English man to have ever lifted the World Cup, the fact that he has a stand named after him at West Ham, was an absolute gentleman by all accounts, and a fantastic defender, and the fact that Pele calls him one of the hardest defenders he's ever come up against, he has to go in. He's a legend. My left back, listen, Stuart Pearce was in there. But then I remembered that this man had won it, and I remembered that this man is probably one of my favourite players of all time. It's Julian Dix. There's no doubt about it. Julian Dix has to go in at left back. One of the best penalty takers English football's ever seen, I would say. Matt Letizia and people like that are there, and Mark Noble. But unbelievable striker of the ball, unbelievably passionate. Considering he's such a gentleman off the pitch, he's such a lovely guy off the pitch. On the pitch, he was an absolute warrior and an animal. Would he get away with what he used to be able to get away with back in the day? I don't know. But there's no denying a team with Julian Dix is 10 times stronger than the team without. I've gone for a 4-3-3. It's a bit cheaty, really. So it's like it's a diamond 4. So in my CDM role, the new modern central defensive midfielder, there's only one man. It's Billy Bonds. He is West Ham, isn't he? He is Mr. West Ham. Rightly got his stand named after him. After years of hanging him out to dry and bad blood with him. The man is an absolute icon, an icon of West Ham United. Won things with us, managed us, captained us, record appearances for West Ham that will never ever get beaten. That will never ever get beaten. That number. A lovely guy. I met him once at a shirt signing at the club. A true gentleman, and just epitomised everything that West Ham was about back then. He would just be a leader, and it's synonymous with most of the players that I've picked here. It's that leadership and that talisman, this, and he is, he is Mr. West Ham. Mark Noble's modern day Mr. West Ham, and I know that Billy played for other clubs. I know he played for Millwall and clubs like that, but Billy is the ultimate Mr. West Ham. On the right side, Tricky Trevor, and I'm not talking about Sinclair. I'm talking about Mr. Trevor Brooking. People that watched West Ham in the 70s, early 80s, arguably Trevor was probably their favourite player. Again, I've met Trevor 2 or 3 times. I've met Trevor Brooking. Again, back to that, one of the nicest guys I've ever met. Absolute gentleman. Wonderful footballer. Again, I never got to see him, but I've seen, obviously, YouTube and, the mini documentaries that West Ham release. Wonderful player for West Ham and England. But arguably, again, another one. He has a stand named after it. West Ham, how can I not put him in the team? Mr. Trevor Brooking. Left side, I'm sorry guys, but he has to go in. It's Mr. Dimitri Payet. Arguably the best footballer I've ever seen play for West Ham United. In terms of ability, in terms of, was in the World Team of the Year, could create things out of nothing. One of the best free kick takers that's ever been in the Premier League. Assist record stayed at West Ham for such a long time. Absolute, as I say, sensational footballer. Sensational footballer. It's a shame it's tarnished by the way it ended at West Ham, but I do believe that, as the years go on, the more fondness we'll have of that last year at Upton Park. He was a big part of that. And it was an absolute joy to see him play for West Ham United, and he has to go in, guys. He has to. Cheated a little bit, guys, just so I could get these 3 players in. I've played him at central attacking mid because even though he is a record goal scorer in the Premier League, I thought he'd be better playing just behind these 2. So I've put Paolo Di Canio in the number 10 role. That was his shirt number, so maybe I haven't cheated. Paolo Di Canio has to go in there. My hero, my God, you hear me speak about it for 5 years on this channel. Dimitri Payet is the best footballer I've seen in the West Ham shirt, but Paolo Di Canio is my favourite player I've seen in the West Ham shirt. Skillful, trickery, goals, magician, memories, captain, leader. Gets West Ham. There's nothing else I can say. He goes in whatever, and none of yous would make me take him out. Up front, 2 up front. Sir Jeff Hurst, again, absolute legend. Magnificent goal scoring record for West Ham, and magnificent goal scoring record for England as well. He has to go in, and next to him, the Canning Town boy, Mr. Tony Cottee. Again, absolute maverick goal scorer. Fox in a box, and I think with Paolo feeding them balls, they would score goals all day long. On my bench, guys, some honourable mentions. Sir Alan Devonshire, purely because he is my dad's favourite player, and I know he's one of the best players that West Ham have ever produced and, found from the non-league. Also on the bench, Declan Rice has to go in. One of the best youth players I've seen come through. Scotty Parker, again, I know he left for Tottenham, but he's one of my favourite players. 3-time Hammer of the Year as well, in a row. Wonderful player, PFA Player of the Year as well. Passionate, hard-working, and if we wouldn't have gone down, I do believe he still would have stayed. Sub-goalie would be Rob Green, again for that season we stayed up. Joey Cole goes on there because he's one of my favourite players as well. And the last place on the bench goes to Carlos Tevez, purely because he went on to have such a fantastic career. And he's another one who could come off the bench and do some magic, guys. That was a fun question. I enjoyed that one. Let me know who you would pick. Again, you're only allowed to use former Hammer of the Year. You can find it, type it in on Google, it comes up. West Ham Hammer of the Year. And give me your lists in the lists below. It'd be interesting to see what you guys come up with. But again, you're only allowed to use Hammer of the Year. There's some fantastic players in there that I have missed out. Teddy Sheringham, Danny Gabidon, Winston Reid, Pop Robson. There's some magnificent players that I've left out. So I'm hoping you guys have some different ones that you can put forward. Until next time, guys, keep these questions coming in. I love these questions like this. Hit the subscribe button. We're very, very close to 4,000. And, we'd like to hit that by, end of the year. It'd be lovely. We've got plenty of time to do it. But it's all up to you guys getting us out there, sharing our stuff and liking our stuff. Till next time, come in your irons, keep believing. Let's go.